Hello, my friends. Welcome to IT Skills 360. This is your host RJ, and today we are going to talk about productivity technique. Now, how the productivity thought came into my mind is twofold. I was trying to focus myself, so then I felt that isn't everybody is also going through the same thing? And lo and behold, this is what I came across while I was browsing through some of the tweets actually. And this particular tweet came from Brad Traversy of Traversy Media. If you haven't checked out his YouTube channel, it's a great channel, Traversy Media. Just look for it. Highly recommended. But anyway, the tweet reads what Brad said is he says, anyone else finding it hard to concentrate? Even though I have some extra time from quarantine, I feel less productive and focused. It's really annoying. Hey, Brad, we all feel the same, I believe. And I'm sure our listeners here also would be in the same boat. Now, obviously, we all agree that focus is important, no doubt. But with the tools we have at our disposal, especially with the computers and smartphones and all other tablets and other techniques that we can get distracted, it is getting hard to focus in general anyways, even though you are in quarantine or not. So that definitely is the main point, that it is hard to focus. So what is the solution? But before we go there, I also want to just touch upon one quick thing, that focus is definitely important in the sense that uh, without doing the deep work, as it is called by Carl Newport. And if you haven't read Carl's books, I highly recommend that also. Actually, I have right here, I can show you. Here is deep work. So what happens is, when we try to um, focus, we definitely get distracted. But if we have a technique, and it should be a simple technique, we shouldn't go crazy also. But if you do have some kind of a method that will help us get focused, that's all we need. So having said that, let me tell you what I am trying to use, and I have used this actually for some time now, so I can talk about it. And the technique is called Pomodoro technique. Now, some of you might wonder what is it, some of you might be knowing it. And the simple thing is, Pomodoro actually means tomato or tomato, however you pronounce it. And the Pomodoro means tomato in Italian, as you call it. So this actually method, the Pomodoro technique as it is called, it's mainly a time management technique slash productivity technique, you can say. It was known by Francisco uh, Cirillo. I apologize if I didn't pronounce it correctly. But anyway, Francesco, what he did was he used a kitchen timer when he was studying himself, and he tried to measure that how much time interval was helpful for him to keep focus, to study better, basically. And what he found is that 25 minutes interval was a general time frame. Now it worked for him, it worked also for many of his friends, I would say. And in general, he thinks that 25 minutes time interval is the best to get focused work that is kind of related to deep work, as we call it. And here's the picture. If you are on YouTube, you can see basically the kitchen timer that he had in his kitchen was in the shape of tomato. So he just named this as Pomodoro technique. That's how the name got into the existence. And now today, Pomodoro technique is very well known. You will find tons of apps and things like that, and we'll look at it one quickly. But before we go there, let me talk about how to use that. So basically, the first and foremost step is you decide on the task to be done. Now, one quick note on deciding on the task. So basically, how do you decide the task, right? It is, there are tons of tasks also, and you need to be careful of what you decide to work on and how you spend your time. So I don't want to distract or confuse with too many methods, but I must mention about this Eisenhower matrix method, as it is called. And let me show you what that is. And that method is basically very simple. As you can see on the screen again, it's a simple matrix of four quadrants. The top left one reads do first, meaning these things should be the one that you should be doing, like first and foremost, right away you should do it. What are those? Those are important tasks. Basically, they need to be done the same day. So when you are making a list, you can just mark them of 1 2 3 4 or some other technique, you whatever you want to follow. But the point is, you should have some of the tasks that requires your complete and immediate attention, which will go under this list, which is called do first. The second list of tasks would be going under schedule. What is that? Well, they are important tasks, you need to do them, but you can at least schedule them. You don't need to do them right away, so they are not so urgent compared to the first do first ones. So they need to be done and you need to schedule them. So you need to at least mark it down at where are you going to do it tomorrow, today is already taken. If it is, then either tomorrow or day after tomorrow or whenever next week, depends. So schedule it. The third one is delegate. Now, not every task should be done by yourself, right? So it will apply either at home or in the office. So if you are a spouse, obviously, like my wife obviously thinks that everything should be delegated, especially during this quarantine time. And I think that it should be delegated to my kids. So that's how things work. Anyway, so the delegation is basically, they are not urgent tasks, but and also they are less important ones. So you can delegate some of those tasks depending on where they fall, and you should decide whether you want to schedule them or delegate them. Now, if none of the categories apply to a task, that means these tasks are neither urgent nor important. That means don't even do them. Just scratch it out. Just cross it out, cancel it, delete it, whatever you want to do. But you have to basically, you have to do not to even consider those tasks. So once you have listed all these four different identified four different categories of the tasks, then you have to start doing it. So let's get back to our list of tasks. So basically, after you did this Eisenhower matrix and you identify those tasks, now you do need to do that, and that's where we need to focus. So now, going back to our technique of Pomodoro, what needs to be done? So as our first step, I should say, was to decide on the task that we decided using Eisenhower matrix technique. The second step would be, now just set the Pomodoro timer. Now this Pomodoro timer, you don't necessarily need that kitchen timer nowadays. Everything is electronic, so I will show you there are so many other ways to do this without that actual timer. But in the old times, all we had was this kitchen timer, and even today they are available. So if you have them and you want to use it, absolutely. Now, after you set that, usually the suggested time is 25 minutes, but try to adjust it for whatever works for you. It may be 20 minutes, it may be 30 minutes, but don't go crazy and increase it to, let's say, 55 minutes or 45 minutes type of thing. So try to stay within this range, I would say, and work on the task. And at that time, close out everything, put your phone away and everything else basically. So just focus, just so that we can do the deep work that is required. Now, at the end of the timer, at the end of that work, if timer rings, then put a check mark on the piece of paper or whatever you are tracking by. I will show you the app that will help you do that. Or if you have fewer than 4 check marks, it says, then take a short break of 3 to 5 minutes. So, meaning at every after that 25 minutes, if you have more check marks to do, well, then continue. But after 75 minutes, you need to take a break of about 3 to 5 minutes. Usually they are 5 minutes in that app, I'll show you. And then you just go back to step number 2, which is that set the Pomodoro timer again and continue. That's all it is, until you basically complete 4 Pomodoro. So in continuation, you don't want to work too long, more than like 2 hours, without taking a longer break, which is about 15 to 30 minutes break. Again, depending on your environment, adjust that time. But the point is, after 4 Pomodoros, you need to take a longer break, not just 3 to 5 minutes, but about 15 minutes or more. Then reset your check marks, count to 0, go back to step 1, which is again finding out the new task or start the Pomodoro again. So that's in a nutshell. It's a very simple technique, but it will help you to focus. Now let me show you basically how and where to get those kind of apps. So obviously the question would be, is there an app for that? And question answer is absolutely. There are tons of actually apps. Pomodoro technique is very well known, so you will find it all over. There are browser add-ons, there are lots of iOS and Android apps. The one app I like is called Focus to Do, and I'm going to show you that actually now, so that you can see it in action. So let's go there. As I was saying, basically before we go actually demo, on the Chrome Web Store, if you just search for Pomodoro, you will see this Focus to Do, the very first one. There is also another one, Marinara, Pomodoro Assistant, Habitica, Pomodoro, Sitekeeper, all sorts of these kind of things will be popping up. So try it out, whatever you like, just keep it, doesn't matter. But the one I particularly liked about is this Focus to Do. So let me show you. This is an add-on I have already installed, as you can see here. If you just open it, what it will show is I have just added some test tasks. So that's why it shows something. But the interactive, intuitive, I would say, the user interface I particularly liked. And here it is. So basically I suggest you can right away, you can start, just click on this red box here, it says 25, and just click on that play button, and that's all. It will start counting the minutes. If you double click on that big red box, it will open up, and now it will show with the seconds going on. And here you can see the task that the timer is going on. If you have to pause for some reason, you can just click to pause, you can play again, or you pause, or and you just say stop completely. Then it will ask, do you want to stop it, and just say stop. Either way is fine. If you double click again, then it will um, sorry, not double click, but you just that minimize the window, and it will go back to that original place, and then you will see the main interface. Now the reason I like this better is this is just one aspect of it, but what happens is we have different kinds of projects and different kinds of tasks. So in this, as you can see on my left here, it says add project. So if you click on it, it will allow you to create a new project. Let's say test project, and we can color it, so you can identify the project by some color. So let's pick a color and just say okay. Now you can see on this left, it says test project is showing up. There is nothing here, so it says 0 hours and 0 basically tasks assigned to it. And there are 3 dots. If you click on it, it will say edit project, complete, or delete. You can just delete it if you did it by mistake or something. Now let's say we do have a task. So I click on test project. On this section, it says add a task to test project. There is nothing to click on plus or anything. You just start typing. So let's say test task. And once you do it, here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pomodoros are already given. So if I just click on one, you can see it's a light red color it turned to. That means this task, I'm estimating that it will take about 25 minutes or so. If I think it is longer, I click on another one. That's about it. Now this green kind of a light button, basically it's nothing but scheduling. So if you want to schedule, instead of today, you want to do it tomorrow, or any other day, you can just schedule that way. So you can do that. There are some of these options, so you can just search on month, directly jumps to, or you can even go back and forth on the months. Either way, you can do it. So it's a very very simple way to handle this. Now once it is done, just press enter, and the task is added. So this project has this task. That's about it. Let's add another task before we actually go back to this, and I'll show you the reason why I'm showing it. So once I have 2 tasks, as soon as I click on this task, on the right hand side it will open an information window where I can see the details of this particular task that we added earlier. If I were to rename it, double click on the name of the task and just say task sample something. So you can rename that. It's very very simple. And this one here, it shows, as we said, it will take like 1 pomodoro is active now. It will start, we can, due date is today, project, which project this task belongs to, that is test project. Then you can also set a reminder again when maybe we set up this task for in the morning, but I want this to be reminded, I want to start in the afternoon. I can i can set a reminder. I can also repeat it. So if I want to do it every day, now the repetition is by day, so basically either it will be every 1 day, every 2 days. There is not that many option to to repeat this, and that is not required, I would say. So that's fine. The another option or important aspect is it also says add a subtask. So this kind of the reason I like this is because it is kind of a project management tool in itself. So you can have a project, you can have a task, and there could be some subtasks. So overall things you can even put into this simple system, and you can manage like, okay, there is a subtask, it has to be completed before this main task can be considered as completed or things like that. And lastly, there is also you can add some notes. So this I can say test as a demo, and that will help me keep it. So it's a very simple one place interface, and it is very effective, I would say. Now coming back to our main task. So I click on this task and I just click and say start. That's all I have to do, and the timer will start. It will run at the end of 25 minutes. It will beep depending on, there are also some options here, as you can see under settings. You can set general, like you can also sign up, by the way, and it is free. So your data will be stored, so you can access it either on the web. You can also access the same thing on your iPhone or Android app. I believe they also have Android app. I do have iOS app, I know. um, then how do you want to set up your timer? So as I said, instead of 25 minutes, which is the norm, you can go from any other minute, 18, 19, 20. As you can see, you can set your own minutes. Also your short break length, how long you want to do it, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever you want. Long break, again you can set 15 minutes is default. And long break after how many pomodoro, which is by default 4 pomodoro. These are the standard default values. You can definitely change it. Then auto start on next pomodoro. You want to start as soon as first is complete, you want to start another one, or wait for the break. Auto start or break, do you want to start the break right away? All these options are available. Alarm sound, so you can, there are so many choices. You can select whichever type of alarm you want to hear after the focus is done, after the break alarm is complete, or white noise you want to keep in the background. This is beautifully done app, I would say, because there are so many options, and these options are all at the free level. I'm not even talking about the premium options. And by the way, I'm not either being paid or advertised or anything. I just used it and I thought I would like to share it. That's about it. And then this is focus to do premium. Let's not go there. I am on the free version at this point, and I don't want to get into that for now. But the point is, try this out. There are many other techniques. Many other apps, similar apps. You can also check them out. Whatever works. But Pomodoro technique definitely helps. Here is one more. Be focused. Focus timer, as it says. So this is on the App Store, as you can see. That also has good reviews and all. I haven't used it, so I can say it. The reason I liked Focus to Do was, and Focus to Do is here. It is also, it is as a browser add-on. It is also on the phone. So, and you can also download it as a standalone app. Actually, on my Windows machine, I have it installed as a standalone app from Microsoft Store. You can find it. So they have developed it for all different platforms, it looks like, and that kind of helps. I don't know anything else about that company or the developer, so I can't say anything more about that. But the point again is that this app or similar app for Pomodoro would be very helpful if you are having issue focusing. And I have used it myself. I do use it even now, and I highly recommend it. So I thought I would like to share it. That's about it, folks. And I would like to know, what technique do you use? Do you have any other preferred technique? I would like to know, and let's share it, because this is what we are here for. Let's share and find out the best option. Of course, you can please, comment in the comment section what your reactions are that about the new technique, different technique, or this technique if you have used or planning to use. whatever you want to say. Let's interact. That will be a good input from you. I would like to hear. And of course, my request is please subscribe if and share if you think this is helpful. We want to grow this channel, and as many people can be helped with this channel. That's my humble mission. So I would appreciate if you can subscribe and share if you find it appropriate. I don't want to make it, and of course if you do want to see anything that needs to be improved, please reach out to me, RJ at itskills360.com, or just comment on YouTube or tweet me at itskills360.com. Thank you so much. Be IT inspired.